Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 86 Gaming. I'm looking today at AG's new 6X keyboard. It's their foray into, I have a hard time saying that word, it always sounds like I say four-way. It's their foray into 60% keyboards. So this is about one of the smaller form factors you're going to be looking at when it comes to a keyboard, and it might be great for you for portable esports, travel, simple works. We'll go over a little bit about it starting right now. So the AG6X is going to be their 60% keyboard. Now it doesn't come in the RGB flavor yet. They're probably going to implement that. And from what I understand, right now it's only blue switches, but they're working on other switches too, like brown switches. If you're someone like me, you might want your brown switches in a keyboard. We're white on the back plate to help kind of create that illusion of a brighter white color than there is. Now, it only comes in the white color backlighting, and you can adjust the brightness up and down to meet what you need. It does get fairly bright, but there is a discrepancy that I'd like to point out. I did take a picture of it because it was hard to show in video. So the back white is actually pretty bright, like 6500K sun white brightness, which is cool, but the keycaps themselves, due to the coating that they have inside of them, actually are kind of a warm white, so it's a contrasting whites that you may or may not like. Now the keyboard itself doesn't actually have any riser feet on the back. It's actually one set height and size, and the build construction quality, everything is super on point to me. I don't actually mind not being able to lift the keyboard up anymore because I think it's just made perfect for my taste, but maybe not necessarily for everybody. In the back, at its highest height, it stands about 1.5 inches tall, or 3.8 centimeters. It's 11.5 inches wide, or about 29.2 centimeters. It's 4 inches depth, so from spacebar to like the F7 key, you're looking at about 4 inches depth, or 10.6 centimeters. It's 3/4 inches tall, or about 1.9 centimeter tall at its lowest point in the front. We got 4 rubber feet on the back that help prevent it from sliding around. It is detachable and interchangeable USB, and one of my favorite things, it's USB-C. They include a braided, gold-plated USB-C cable from USB-C to USB Type-A connection so that you can plug it in. Portability is an issue for you, then you don't have to worry about that here, because if you need something that's shorter, you can get something shorter. Now the cord they include is only about 4 feet long, so it's not a super long cord already, which is good, I suppose, if people are using this mainly or primarily for traveling, just having something that's simple to use and set up. But if you needed something longer or you needed something shorter, you can go on Amazon and buy a cable for like $5-6 bucks. This keyboard uses the Otemu Blue switch. Otemu Blues are something that we see a lot in budget keyboards, and for the price of about $35, which I'm thinking is what this is sitting at, then you're looking at about that. Now, I guess before I took it out of the box, I was pretty proud of myself because I've used enough Otemu Blue switches over time now that I sat there and I clicked on it and I said, oh, those are Otemus. I bet you they're Otemu switches. And sure enough, they were. Otemu Blue switches inside this thing. I have never had a problem with the Otemu switches. I actually like them. They're not my favorite. I think Kale makes a switch that's my favorite, the Kale Brown switches, and I really prefer those even over Cherry. I'm currently using Cherry MX Silence on my Corsair keyboard, and they're okay, but they're just not brown switches to me. I really do like brown switches personally, but that's a preference. Now, there are lighting features on this which I thought was not only a little bit strange, but they're implemented as if this should have at least been the 80% form factor, or even a full standard keyboard 104 key layout. And the reason for that being is because when you go through some of the lighting effects, which yes, there's some pretty basic lighting effects you see on a lot of budget keyboards, they kind of don't meet in the middle. They're off-centered, as if it was looking for the rest of the keyboard that's just not there, which you should be able to see in some of these images I'm showing you. So while there are some neat functions that we see in a lot of these more basic end keyboards, they're just kind of a miss here. They're not lining up. Like the fade crash effect, whatever you want to call that, that kind of sort of meets on the right-hand side of the keyboard instead of in the middle of the keyboard. Something I think they could probably improve on with a little bit of tweaking, and it might make it a little bit better to look at. Now, it does come with a CD for anybody that still uses CDs, and it's like saying it comes with a record for anybody that still uses records. Now, CD drives are important. I'm not picking at anybody. It's nice to have one every once in a while. You can procure the download link from their actual website, where you can download the drivers and use it to macro the keys if you wanted to. It's not super fancy, but if you wanted to change some macro ability in there, you can go in there and assign keys, because when you're working with such a small keyboard layout, you might want to assign yourself how the keys are going to work for you. Hold on to that instruction guide, because it's going to be what tells you most of the shortcuts. Function and most of this will do something, and it's pretty self-explanatory on the keys themselves. But now, I like this keyboard a lot. I'd like to see some changes in it. Some different switch flavors would be great. On top of that, some future lighting effects would be better, and I'd like to not have contrasting colors to what's actually on the keycap, and that's probably kind of a hard thing for them to do, because you take these double injected keycaps and they're kind of diffused, so it gives that warm white versus that that bright white that's on the back, and it looks a little off to me, but overall not bad. I think that this is a great little keyboard, especially for the price, and it'll stick around as a portable keyboard for me. The only problem with a portable keyboard like this being blue switches, if I take it places, of course, because the blue switches are the clicky clackiest of all of them, you're going to notice it's pretty loud. Let's go ahead and take a listen to it. End of the day, I think it's a pretty great keyboard. If it's something you've been interested in, I'll post a link down below so you can go check it out. If you have any questions about it, leave them down in the comment box. I'll see you guys in the next video. I do have a great day, night, whatever it is.